Don't count the days. What I mean by that is don't count the days when you are trying to get rid of your porn addiction, and honestly, for any addiction. Tracking your progress, counting the days, is just a waste of time. Actually, let me rephrase that. Just counting the days. Tracking your progress is actually good, but not in the way you think it is. Let me tell you a story. So, when I was first trying to get rid of my porn addiction when I was 17 years old, what I would do is I would just tell myself that I was never going to do it again. And then after that, I'd go 3 days using my small little willpower that I had. And then I'd just relapse, and that's probably what you've been doing. Most guys are like that. They just want to use their willpower, but they don't actually want to change the root problem of why you are addicted to porn. And let me tell you why you're addicted to porn. For most guys, it's mainly for three reasons. They're probably dealing with porn in a way to relieve their stress, anxiety, or boredom. For most guys, it's boredom. You just gotta get off of your bed and stop scrolling on Instagram looking at big booty girls, bro. Get out of your house and actually do shit. Excuse me for my language, but bro, that's what I'm trying to say this in like the most serious way ever. You know. Another reason could be like a trauma response. As I said, if you if growing up you didn't have the best environment and that caused you to have a lot of these emotions, stress and anxiety, porn can somewhat become more of your safe space, if you get what I'm trying to say. It becomes the your number one source, especially you don't have any friends, you don't have any friends, you don't have any hobbies, you're doing nothing. That's a bit deeper and that takes a bit more time and work to really try and get rid of your addiction. But one thing is for certain is for me and for a lot of guys that I've talked to who've also had a porn addiction is that counting your days doesn't work. You see, when you've been addicted for as long as I have, I've been addicted for almost 10 years. And like for the first time in my life, this year, I've actually somewhat have gotten a grip on it and have identified how to actually get rid of it. What you need to do is you need to identify first what is pulling you towards porn. So as I said, stress, anxiety, and boredom. What is it for you? Figure it out. Journal. When do you go to porn the most? For me, it was just when I was scrolling on bed, when I failed a test, when a girl rejected me, when I was going through a heartbreak, all these things. That's when I was the most addicted. It could also be trauma. Maybe porn. You're just so chained to porn that you just don't know what to do. But just already doing what I told you before, identifying why you go to porn will help you with that. Next is you need to progressively deload your porn usage. You're not just gonna get rid of the porn addiction overnight, man. I'm sorry to tell you, if you had hope, if you thought that you were just gonna use your willpower, tell your body that no, I'm never gonna do it. No, it's deeper than that, bro. You've had your addiction for a long time. It's gonna take a bit more work. So what you need to do is you need to just let's say you jerk off like 10 times a day. I know that's massive numbers, but there's genuinely people who do that. Instead, tone it down to 5 times a day. And then over time, slowly decrease that number. But as I said in the beginning, you got to change your lifestyle first. Bro, get outside. Go start a new learn something new. Start a hobby. Go to a club. Just do stuff, and I'm telling you, naturally, you'll actually decrease the times you do it per day. And then from there, when you actually have a life that you actually want to do, and it's going to take some time. I used to have social anxiety, so I know how it feels to be really uncomfortable with putting yourself out there. But it's possible. Just go out there and challenge yourself. And as I said, over time, when you start doing these things, you'll build your confidence, you'll become better socially, and even physically if you start a new hobby. So you're getting the best of all worlds by you just upgrading your lifestyle. That's the thing, is porn is a symptom of poor mental health. I'm telling you. And the reason why you have poor mental health is most likely because you don't have a life. You just stay in your bed all day and and you don't really have like real friends. You might have friends, but those aren't real friends where you feel good around. The times when I was addicted to porn, I had these so-called friends, but they were actually just there to pull me down, or they just would insult me and just make fun of me. Those aren't friends. And if you have friends like that, get rid of them, because I'm telling you, your life is better without them. So as I said, don't count the days. Change your lifestyle. Identify when you go to porn, and then when you figure that out, start trying to stop putting yourself in those kinds of positions. For example, boredom. Stop making yourself bored. Stop giving yourself free time. And for stress and anxiety, deal with those in healthier ways. For example, me, I meditate, journal, and read the Bible, or just go on walks. When you get an urge, get outside of your house and just go do something. You don't even have to do something like extraordinary. Just walk. Literally just walk. Listen to music. Call a friend, a trusted friend. It's not that hard to get rid of porn, but the steps to getting rid of porn is a bit difficult. If you get what I'm trying to say, like, it's simple. You you only need these three steps. As I said, you just need to identify when you go to porn, change your lifestyle, and just identify when you get triggers. That's all you got to do. But it's difficult because your body is so wired to, like, just want porn. I know how it feels. I'm telling you, I've been down bad. For the first time in my life, I've gone 30 days on semen retention without like doing anything. This feels like my lifestyle now, and it's easier for me to stop, like, to get rid of my temptations and urges than before. I have a challenge on this. I did a challenge a few months ago, which was 60 days of trying to get rid of my porn addiction, or it was 120 days, but I went 60 days with uh, while holding my seed. And I'd say this time around, I've found I feel more quality. I'm getting more out of it because I'm not just using willpower. I actually have a life that I'm working towards. I have hobbies now. I'm actually reading the Bible, diving deeper into faith. So I'm actually doing things opposed to when I did the 120-day challenge and only went 60 days, where I just use simply just willpower. I'm telling you, when you actually change your lifestyle, it'll become easy. It's not that hard anymore for me to just resist. And it'll be the same for you. Just trust in the process, man. And if you relapse, don't beat yourself up about it. Journal. Why did I relapse? Was it because you had a bad day at school? You were feeling like crap in the day and you didn't know how to handle it? Journal, man. Just keep journaling. Introspection, really just figuring out why you go to it is the best way to get rid of your porn addiction. It's not 60 days on NoFap. It's not just holding your seed. No, it's none of those. Because porn isn't natural. And I know I've been yapping a lot in this video, but if you can get anything out of this video, just remember that you can get rid of your porn addiction by doing these three steps. First, identify when you go to porn, whether that be boredom, stress, when you're bored, when you're stressed, when you have a high amounts of anxiety. Next, take the steps next, change your lifestyle. Stop staying in your bed all day. Stop hanging around people who make you feel like crap. And start getting new hobbies. Start doing things. Build your character. And then 3, just keep improvising. Keep changing things. Keep identifying, keep doing these things over and over again and repeat. Basically 1, 2, repeat, basically. But if you enjoyed the video and you got anything out of this, or maybe you've gone like years without watching porn and you have tips for people watching this video, comment down below what you did to get rid of your porn addiction. But anyways, if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. Peace.